right? Okay. Okay, so let's keep going. So that was one example. So you can see that we were able to graph it, okay, by doing some calculations. I mean, really, I did graph it with GeoGebra, I know, but we could really graph it by hand because we have all the necessary information here. But let's do another one. So here we have this function, right? So this is a quadratic function. So we have a here, as you can see, is -1, right? We just have a minus, so that's -1. B is 6, C is -3. Okay, so just like before, we want to get the vertex. Now, I'm using the formulas, so we have to calculate minus b over 2 times a, which in this case is -6 over 2 times -1. I'm just substituting. And from here, we get 6 over 2, which is 3. We would actually have -6 over -2. So we would have -3, but the minus is canceled. Now, for the y coordinate, we do f of that down here. We have f of 3, which is -3 squared plus 6 times 3 minus 3, okay? And that becomes -9 plus 18 minus 3, which is 6. So the vertex is 3, 6. Notice also that the vertex and with the a, since a is negative, we know the graph has to open downward. So the graph is going to do something like this, because a is negative. Not only that, we know what the vertex is. The vertex is the top point here, 3, 6. So the range right away we would get is minus infinity, comma, 6. Right? It's going to be, as you can see, a half open interval, like so. I mean, we'll see that in the graph, but I'm just showing you right away we can actually figure out what the range is. Now, so we have this. We have the axis of symmetry, right? That's the vertical line through the vertex. That's x equals 3. And the y-intercept is f of 0. Let me do that calculation actually. So for f of 0, right? Let me draw it out. 1 second. So for f of 0, right, we would have minus 0 squared plus, oh boy, 6 times 0 minus 3. But you can see that minus 0 squared, well, that's just minus 0, which is gone. Anything times 0 is 0, so 6 times 0 is 0. So we just get minus 3. Okay? That's all we get. Okay, so I hope that's good. So we get those. And again, what's left now, really what's left that we need is the x-intercepts. So for this, I'm using the quadratic formula as before. Okay, we have our a, b, and c. So from here, we have -6 plugging in, plus or minus the square root of b squared, minus 4 times a times c over 2a. Right, so I'm substituting. Now we calculate. We get -6 plus or minus the square root of 36 minus 12, because we have -1 times -3. That's 1 times 3 times 4 is 12. And we get this. And so from here, we get this. And so we get this. And from here, we have two answers. -6 plus radical 24 over -2. -6 minus radical 24 over -2. We have that. And again, I just used the calculator to figure out what these numbers are, mostly because the square root of 24, that's not an easy number, I guess. It's a long decimal. So that's why I use the calculator. Actually, I used Excel, but you can use the calculator, of course. And again, I would normally tell you how many decimal places to round to. So from here, what we would get is this graph. And we were right. The range is from -infinity to 6. And of course, I forgot the axis of symmetry. So let me do that again. That is, let me do it for this one. Now again, it's supposed to be a vertical line. I'm drawing it as a dashed line through the vertex. Good. We have the range already. We can skip the range from here. Again, the idea is you want to see what parts of the y-axis is the graph to the right of. What portion of the y-axis is to the left or right of the graph? Well, this portion is to the left, right? You see that by drawing these horizontal lines. See? Like so. But hopefully from these horizontal lines, you can see that and really you can keep going, but all this is on the left side of the graph. Oh my goodness. And past this point, you have this part to the right. Basically, you're going to get everything from -infinity all the way up to 6. Okay, hopefully that made sense. I plotted the x-intercepts, vertex, the y-intercept, we connect, and good. So we have that. All right. Are there any questions on that? All right, so this one I figured I have you guys try out. I mean, I didn't get a chance to do it with the other class because there was a mistake in my notes, but I fixed it. So, I guess, why don't you guys take a few minutes to try and get the vertex? I'll take like take like a minute or two. Let me pause the recording. I'm just trying to calculate the vertex.